Hey everyone, how are you all doing? Darren Carnell here. Welcome to part 50 of the Man with No Name painting tutorial. This, in terms of the body, might be the last one. It'll actually be good to finish on 50. There will still have to be a video or two of making the desert base. It shouldn't take long to do that, so it should be a video or two. But in terms of getting the body done, we've got the hands done, we've got the holster done, we've got the gun done, we've got the face and the hat, the head done, we've got the trousers and the boots, we've got everything done. We've got most of this done. We've got all of the poncho, we've got the patterns, we've got the colours, we've got all of that done. We've made all this lovely sheepskin, furry on the inside, sort of leathery on the outside. We've done the colours, we've done the belts, we've got the jeans matched. I did an extra coat from the last video of the goldy silver colour on the buckles. I give them a little rinse of gold just to warm them up and give them a bit of variation. Now we've got most of the shirt colour done. We're going to go in with some, it looks bright on here because it's under a spotlight, it's not that white, but the way that looks there, we're going to do some highlights like that. We're going to mix a greyish pale colour, do some highlights. I've got to paint the dark necktie thing around there. So once I've done the highlights and decided if I want to go any further with the shirt in terms of the colour and the tone and everything like that, I will then decide if and how to fake some stripes. I don't want to do it if it makes it look rubbish, but if I can do it somehow like I did with the jeans, it's going to be harder than the jeans because it's a light colour, so anything will stand out. I may look at it and go, you know what, it sort of looks better this way, but I will have a look. But we're sort of on the last few things now. So I'm going to bring the camera straight in and we will get, this is a very dark image. The sun came out and then it went away and then I darkened my camera and you can see me. Hi. So let me take a sip of coffee and then put the mug out the way because I'll knock it off the desk, knowing me. Okay. I'm just going to bring the camera in and we will get on with this. No idea if that's in the right place or not. Right, okay, so that is zoomed out and on the wrong sort of default settings, not my settings. Eeny, meeny, miny, mo. There you go. Let's see. So I made the jeans a little bit darker to match what goes underneath there. We did the second coat of buckle. Everything is moving on now. So I'm going to do more on the shirt, I think. So that's the, just, there you go, that should be okay. So if I get a old rubbish brush like that, so I want to do some highlights. I want them to be just looking at the pictures of the thing because they are in some ways darker blue and in other ways more grey, and it's sort of frustrating because it's a colour that's made from stripes. This is close to how it looks when it's lit up and from a distance. I think when we get some highlights on here, maybe do some more shadow stuff. I'm not sure. I don't really want to overdo it. I don't want it to look like a cartoon version of a shirt. Sorry, you can't even see anything there. I don't want it to look like an overdone cartoon version of a shirt. But I do want it to look right. So what I'm going to do, not that you can see because it's over to one side, right, over there is where we have the palette. I'm going to get some cream and put it on here where we had the blue colour. I'm going to get some grey and mix that in. That's actually quite a good grey colour, but it's not really highlight colour. Let me have a look. Well, it's sort of lighter. Huh, that might work. Okay, so I'm going to get some, I've got some kitchen roll here on the side so I can wipe off most stuff. So, let me see. I'm going to do some random dry brushing here and there. Helps if I bring that back so you can see. So just dry brushing here and there. To make some highlights. I've not mixed too much of that paint, so it'll probably run out before I'm done with it. But that's okay because I can just mix some more. Tell you what, I'm gonna get some more cream. I'm gonna put a tiny bit of water in there because I still want to be able to dry brush, but I just want to make it go a bit further. So a bit of water, bit more cream, a little bit more grey, just to dull it down again. Okay, let's have a look. Where's the camera? That's okay, so that's quite good for that arm. There's a couple of bits stuck to the paint that I want to clear off. See, that looks like a bit of damage there, but it's just the thing stuck to it. But I'll pick that off when I'm done. Oh, how can I get hold of this? Right, so a little bit of that, wipe off most of the excess, and then sort of around the top. Oops, sorry, can't see. So I'm just making bits of it lighter. So it's subtly exaggerating where, whoops, that was a mistake. Got a bit of paint on the brown there, which not all of it's coming off. I will fix that, that's fine. Subtly showing where the sun is hitting, where the shadows are, which bits are brighter. Like you would see in a comic book, like you see Batman in a comic book, and even though he's wearing an all black thing, you often see highlights and reflections and stuff done in a sort of dark blue colour, just to show that it's not all exactly the same. And that's sort of what we're doing. We're just slightly exaggerating real life, but slightly. We don't want it to look like a cartoon or a comic or anything. We just want to, we're just trying to point out where stuff is. So here's where the light is, here's where the shadow is, and it just helps things look less boring, I suppose. Forgive me for being quiet. Just concentrating and a little bit tired, but that's okay. I'm allowed to be tired. We can't all be full energy, full power, go all the time. So sometimes I'm allowed to be a little bit tired, and sometimes I can't think of what to say, and I'm not really doing anything that I can describe here. I'm just sort of doing what I've already said I'm doing. So, you know. Oops. Bit too much paint there. Blend it out. So I'm just leaning back and having a look at it. Let me just hold it away from the camera for a second. We can have a proper look at it. That's actually quite good. I like that. I'm going to get some brown. Brown? What am I talking about? I'm going to get some grey. I'm just going to water a load of grey down by itself. Watery, 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 watery. And what I want to do is just use that to put some shadows inside some of the bits. I'm going to... Let's see, what brush can I use? I'm going to use that brush because it's quite thin so I can get into some bits. What I want to do is wet it and then put some grey in. Don't know if it'll work. It's just an idea off the top of my head, but I thought, you know what, I might like to see that look a little bit shadowy, so I'm putting some water in there and up onto the sleeve and up onto the vest. I don't know if it's enough, I don't know if it's too much. Honestly, this is sort of off the top of my head and I don't know if it'll work. So I've done that water. Let's get some grey. Put some grey down in the corners there. Let's get some more. And do some along here. Now wipe off the excess there. And then I'm going to go back and just blend off any that's gone onto the sleeve or the vest. I sort of just want it to sit inside the creases. Don't know if it'll work, might not be enough, might be too much. Not really sure. I just wanted to try and shade it a bit. Let's do some down there. I mean, that might work well or better if I do a few coats. So do a bit, let it dry, do a bit, let it dry. And then I build up some nice shadow in those creases. Just to darken it, push it back because you can see the sculpt, and I don't really... Sometimes on a sculpt there's no harsh dividing line where there should be, like between this cloth of the sleeve and the leather of the sheepskin. It should sort of go right back between the two and then come back out again. And sometimes on a sculpt it'll go down, there'll be a bit of a bumpy bit and it'll come back up. So there's actually no right way to paint it. You either paint the sheepskin over further than it should be, or you paint the shirt over further than it should be. And there's usually a way to make one look better than the other, but it always makes the other bit look worse. And often a way to get away with that is to, if it's a bit like that where it goes down and comes back out, is to put it in shadow. So that's what I'm doing with that. and it'll help. It's just enough to push it back that when everything's varnished and put together, you don't really see it. And also, what's not helping is I've got the spotlight above it shining in, which it wouldn't be, because normally it would be like that. Look at this camera over here. So when we're working on the painting camera, the light is sort of hitting. See that spotlight on there? It's hitting it like that, straight down at the front, and that's never like that. It's always like that. So the light comes down and all of this is in shadow, and that will help by itself. I mean, it does. I hold her up and you can't see anything, but I want to get some extra shadow in there just to help. So I might do a few more of those off cam, just because it's doing the same thing. It's just putting the shadow in. So I'm just wetting it to let me blend it, putting some dark colour. I'm using grey. You could use umber. You could use whatever colour you're working with, just a dark version of it. Neutral colours, though, not very strong colours, usually work the best, because if you look at shadows, they're not usually pure dark blue or pure dark red. They're just sort of darkish, so it can be grey or umber. And I'm putting some in and then blending it, but it's subtle. I'm doing it. If you overdo it, it looks like you've painted black lines around everything. But those highlighty bits, I'm pleased with them. They look good. So we've got some around here, some here. There's not much here because it's quite a subtle, the sculpt isn't massively folded or anything. You can see more there. So we've got the original colour, then we've got some shadowy bits, then we've got blue shadowy bits, then we've got highlights, and they look quite good. I might go over the whole thing with a very thin grey wash. I'm not sure. I don't know. I'm still on the edge about trying to put stripes on this. On the jeans it sort of worked because they were almost black, so they were subtle enough. I think anything I put on this will stand out, no matter how thin they are. Right, what I'm going to do, apart from knocking my paint over, let me clean this brush a second. I am going to mix a super thin blue colour, sort of the blue that the actual stripes on the shirt are made of, and it's sort of the colour that I've been using for the shadows. That bluey colour in there, it's sort of that colour, and I think I've got some on my palette that I can just thin down. See that colour? I'm going to water the hell out of that. Actually, I might not be able to use that because all the white has just gone down and mixed in with it. Nope, I know what I can do. I'm going to get some royal blue, chuck a load of royal blue in, because normally you only need a little bit of that. That will darken it down, but not massively so, just so it's a bit darker. I'm actually going to get a bit more than that. So more blue, make it darker, and then chuck a ton of water in there so it's really thin. And then I'm going to pick the thinnest brush I can. Now when I did it on the jeans, I did it more randomly. I used a messy brush that had, that was completely splayed out open, and just did it using the edge of that, so like the brush sort of splayed out at the end, and you'd get random hairs from the brush just sort of randomly, so it didn't feel painted. Now the only problem with doing that here, sort of that type brush, in fact that might have been the brush that I used, so I was putting bits of paint on that, and then random hairs would touch the jeans and make random strokes of paint, different thicknesses, different strengths. But because this is sort of a white shirt, I think doing anything like that will end up looking too painted on. I don't want it to look like brush strokes. That's the only thing. It's a difficult thing to avoid. Don't want it to look like brush strokes. I'm going to get some grey and chuck some grey in that as well while we're here. Actually, I'm going to do it the other way around. I'm taking some of that blue, mixing it in with grey, and I'm going to water that down. Because the blue was a bit light, and this bluey grey, if I get it thin enough, might be better. See, my plans don't always happen how I think they're going to happen. Sometimes you just got to go with random ideas that you have. Right, so I initially, be careful Darren, do not drop this. I initially had that colour. It was a sort of colour from here, and I mix a load of blue in it, make that colour. I thought I was going to use that colour. Then I realised there was some grey in here, and I took some of that, added it to the grey and watered it down, and I'm going to use this bit here. Probably doesn't look any different on cam. It's more grey and it's way more watery. So what I'm going to try... Oh, this is probably a bad idea. So I don't want to try it with that because I think it will just... not enough control. I'm looking through my brushes now and thinking, oh, I don't trust any of them. Might try that one, sort of long, thin one. This is dangerous. I don't like this. See, I think if I'm doing this, I'm going to have to do a few, and if they come on too dark, make sure I'm ready to block them off straight away. Now I've just done a few there, super subtle. You know what, let me try and bring the zoom in, the focus, so I can show you what I'm doing. Where's the focus? I've lost my focus setting. Oh, there it is. Is that? Nope, focus on the wrong camera, you idiot. Okay, let's try again. Camera 2, Darren, not camera 1. So bring the focus for that up a little bit. I'm going to get some. Now the only problem here is that if I'm lifting this thing up, I don't have a spare hand. Oh, that's way too high. I don't like that. So I did some stripes. That's a little bit that I've got to fix. I think it's a thing. I think it's like a bit of tissue or something that's stuck to it, but I'll clear that off. Subtle stripes were there somewhere. I can't really show them, but I think that focus is actually too high. I can't do it there. I want it to be a little bit higher, but I've still got to be able to control it and see what I'm doing and hold this thing without dropping it. Right, let's try there. Because I want to be able to put some stripes on, but for them to be super thin and for me to be able to control them and block them off if I needed to. I just want to give the impression of stripes. I don't even really want people to see them. I just want people's brains to see them. The problem is I can't do them too pronounced, because they will look obvious that they are not perfectly uniform and the same distance apart and the same size and everything as they should be on a printed shirt, because I can't paint them like that, because it's ridiculous to even try. But I just want there to be enough stripage that your brain sort of thinks it's a stripy shirt. Now, the cuffs go the other way around. I have to be careful here, because this is properly empty and there's no sculpt or anything here. Super subtle, probably too subtle, but if it goes on any stronger then they'll look obvious, and I don't want them to look obvious. So it's subtle. See, so you can just about see some vertical ones there coming down, and you can just about see some little ones going across there. That's all I want. Just enough. I'm going to put that focus back down because I need to drop that down, because holding that up to the camera was giving me a dead shoulder. just enough to make your brain go, is that a stripy shirt? You don't even need to see it enough to see stripes. Just enough to make your brain question if it's a stripy shirt, because once you got that, that's sort of enough. Again, little thin watery stripes. My god, this thing is heavy to hold. Now I know you can't probably see this because I haven't got the focus up, but it was impossible to hold it up at that height and paint with any level of control anyway. So I'm sort of doing this to the level where you're not sure if there's stripes there or not. There is, obviously, but you're not looking and seeing a bunch of stripes, you're just looking and seeing a pale blue looking, bluey grey looking shirt. But maybe there were stripes, I'm not sure. That's what I want your brain to be thinking, because there is no way to do actual stripes of the correct thickness and precision and everything else. There's just no way to do that on this. But if I can fool your brain into thinking that you saw stripes, then all of a sudden it's a stripy shirt. Oy. Heavy. Okay, you know what I'm going to do? Let me stop that for a second and go back to the big camera, because it's a very slow and frankly boring process to watch. I mean, to do as well, but especially to watch. Wow, that's dark. Main camera. No, that's camera 2. Camera 1. Ooh, excuse me. Camera 1. Main camera. Still too dark. Main camera brighter. Okay, that'll do. Okay, what I'm going to do. We're not finished in video 50. We are so close though. I'm going to do some more of that. The thing is, I don't want the client to get this and then be looking for stripes on the shirt, because they're not going to be there. There's going to be little random, just little wispy hints of lines that are subconsciously going to make someone go, is that a stripy shirt? That's all I want. So I'm not trying to paint stripes going all the way down, because I wouldn't be able to do that. That would be wrong. I'd never, it would make a mess. But just do little all over the place. Because it's taken ages, and even just doing that took ages, I am going to, off camera, do some more of that until I'm happy with it. It may only take me 5 minutes. I may end up doing it for another hour. I don't know. I genuinely don't know. Because I don't want to get to the stage where it's like, oh, I've ruined it. I've got to paint it all over again. I'm trying to avoid that. What I think I'm going to do is do some more with the colour that I've got. The dark blue, but the very thinly watered down dark blue. I'm going to do that until I'm happy with it. And then I'm going to take I can't really hold it up because it'll spill everywhere. No, I can't hold it. The highlight colour. I'm going to take some of that colour, water down. I'm going to paint stripes with that. So it doesn't look like it's a pale blue shirt with random dark stripes on it. It's supposed to be a blue and white striped shirt. So I'm going to do that, take the highlight colour, paint some all over it. Just enough to hint at it being a stripy shirt. When I'm happy with that, I will stop. I will do that off camera just because there's nothing for me to say while I'm doing it. It's very boring to watch. You've just seen what I'm doing. I'm just doing that until I think I'm happy. There's no lesson to be had there. It's just me doing the same thing, and at some points I'll go, yeah, that'll do. I've got no plan here other than just do it until I think it's okay. I could stop there. The colour is fine. It looks like a statue. It looks like how it should look. This is just me trying to put a bit of extra, doing what I do. So I'm going to do that off camera. Everything else, I mean, I've got a shirt button there and a shirt button down there somewhere. They've got to be painted pale, creamish colour. There's the black tie. That's sort of it. And the base. So the next video, fingers crossed, what we can pretend is that the statue is finished on video 50, because it sort of is. Video 51, I will do a couple of things. The necktie, the shirt buttons, that's kind of it. And then the base. And that's it. So I will carry on with that, away from your gaze. So you're not watching me thinking, what's he doing? Or watching me thinking, God, this is boring, which is more likely. And that's it. So I'm going to go enjoy yourselves. I'll get this done until I'm happy with it. Maybe 5 minutes, maybe 2 hours. I genuinely don't know. Once that's done, I will have a look over the entire statue. I'll make sure everything's okay. Any bits that have not been varnished yet, I will varnish. I will talk about that either in the next video, or I will do a separate video at the end. I know some people have wanted me. It's a thing that I've never really shown on camera, and it's difficult because I do it out in the back garden. I can't do it in here because it's just big spray cans. But I will talk about what I do at the end of a project, because some people don't know. But I will do that at the end of the video, at the end of the, after I've made the base or something, or I will do a separate video explaining that. But with regards to these pieces, I will check that everything is okay. I will varnish any pieces that haven't been varnished. We will come back and do the couple of things on this that need doing, the buttons and the necktie, and I think that's it. And then we will make the desert base, which is glue, sand, stones, paint. Should be quick, should be one video. And then we are done. And I'm absolutely going to queue up a thing on iTunes of like angels singing or something, because this has been a long series. So, alright, go away. Have a good day, have a good weekend, have a good week, wherever you are. Thanks for putting up with me painting invisible stripes and not talking through any of it. My God, that must have been a boring video. You couldn't even probably see what I was doing. Tiny, tiny stripes, I could see them, but if they were any thicker, they were too thick, unfortunately. So, goodbye. I will see you soon, and we will get this thing finished. Next video, probably. Take care, everyone. Bye. I clicked the wrong thing. I'm supposed to go onto the thank you card and then the website address, and I clicked the wrong thing. Okay, should we try that again? Bye.